I surrender all to you, everything I give to you. What do we really mean when we're saying this? My life is not my own. What do we mean when we're singing that song? Good morning, my name is EVELYNE SIKUDHANI and welcome to the third episode of this show, Targeting the Youth. We're calling it the Youth Cafe. We're doing this live from BWM Kilifi, formerly MPC Kilifi. And in this show, we'll be having guests coming to share real life experiences, covering different topics in the Christian walk. And then we'll look at what the Word of God says about these things. Our desire is that you may grow in godliness and also be encouraged as people share their experiences. Last time we had a great time talking about what is the meaning of being born again, and is there something like going too far when you're doing something for God? In case you missed it, just check it out on YouTube. Today's topic is surrender. There's this song, I surrender all to you, everything I give to you. What do we really mean when we're saying this? My life is not my own. What do we mean when we're singing that song? We have two guests today. We have Eda. Surrender is sometimes seen to mean weakness. Is this that I'm weak, that I need to surrender things to God? And what really does it mean to surrender in your walk with God? Welcome, Eda.
Thank you. Surrendering, as in, to me, like, it's not that God si eti Mungu sometimes anatupunish ama sometimes unakuwa in a situation like you have to surrender to him juu yeye ndo ametuumba na he's the one who is we are his property, so we have to surrender our life to him. Like sometimes hata unaweza kuwa mgonjwa then une like acha tu nipatie Mungu tu maisha, yeye ndo mwenye kujua chenye napitia ama penye naumwa, like hivyo. So surrendering is not like we are weak, we have to, and sio lazima, but lazima wewe mwenyewe tayari utajipata tu una surrender. Kuna situations unakuwa in a way that you have to surrender it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you've said we do not belong to ourselves. It means that so we belong to God. I can't decide like leo nitafanya hivi. It's I belong to someone else.
Yeah, we belong to God. Hapa hakuna kuchagua. It's him and him alone. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have a story maybe that you'd like to share, a circumstance where surrender came into play? Maybe you can share that with us.
Yeah, there's a time I had a back pain, my shoulder pain. So like nilienda hosi, nikafanywa x-rays, kila kitu, nikapewa mpaka dawa, nikatumia like 1 month and that pain haikupotea. Nikaenda x-ray, hakuonekani anything like. So kuna time tukakuja church, kulikuwa na ilikuwa Cinemax day hiyo day. So like youth ilikuwa kuna mtu kama uko kwenye situation una pray item. So mimi nikasema kwa niko na back pain like nilikuwa nayo like for 3 months. So mimi nikasema hizi kutumia madawa juu nimetumia kila dawa, pain killer, hizo za kurab. So nikasema tu mimi nimeachia tu Mungu this pain. Kama itaenda it's fine, na kama pia mkono wangu pia utaenda, let me give it to God. So nikakaa like 1 month, then hiyo pain hata nilisahau kwa nilikuwa na hiyo pain. Nilikuwa niweza fua, then ifike 2 time niachane kufua juu mkono siwezi fanya anything. Hata nikipika inaweza kwa mkono kwame, siwezi fanya anything. But niliachia Mungu na sasa sina hiyo pain, ilipotea tu yenyewe na sikutumia dawa tena. So like nilisurrender tu kwa Mungu na a miracle happened na nikapona mpaka sasa hivi. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you, Eda, for sharing your story. I now invite our second guest, Vera. What is your story as far as surrender is concerned?
My name is Vera Muthike. I'm grateful to be here. Surrendering for me means that sina uwezo. Penye nimefika siwezi. I've tried all that I can, but nguvu zimeniishia. And if you try to do it your way, imagine utashindwa. So itifikaza point you say, sai God, nimeshindwa. You just take over and just do what you think is best with me and for me in this situation. There are so many areas in my life. I think it's every area of my life yenye nimejipata niki surrender. I'll share this story whereby it happened this year. I relocated from where I was. I'm a single mom. I have a son, 8 years old, going to 9. So it was in March. I found myself relocating back to Shags. And I'm like, I've been earning my own money. I've been doing my own stuff, staying with my son. We had a good life. But we fikad a point mpaka tungerudi Ushago to stay with my parents. And then when I was there, I'm like, God, isiyo kitu nilikuwa nimepanga kufanya. By the way, I went into depression for such a long time. I used to lock myself in the room and tell my son to bring me food. I remember there is a week I went for 3 days. I've not showered. He could just bring me food. I eat and then I go back to sleep. And then I heard the Lord saying, by worrying, what will you add? As in, hata ukiendelea kujisumbua ati hauna job, nothing is working, unajiongeza nini? And then niko nasemanga, I really would like to live with my son. Sitaki kumwachia wazazi wangu. As in, this is my blessing. So there are those times you are praying to God and telling him, God, you says that your blessing maketh rich and adds no sorrow. But the fact that he's going to stay with his grandparents, that is not my initial plan. Then kasikia Mungu tu akiniambia, what if you just let it go? Surrender, niachie. So I left home this July, and I'm so grateful to God. Whatever my parents have been able to accomplish for my son, bedhe singeweza. Right now, I went to visit him the other day, and my mom was telling me she has already cleared the school fees. My son is eating, bedhe amejenga mwili, amejua kusoma. Imagine mimi nikiishi na yeye, okay, sijui whether I'm too loving. I thought my parents kuishi na yeye kama grandparents wake watakuwa, unaona venye unatunza mtoto sana, but they accomplished what I could not on my own. So to me ninasema, ningeendelea kuishi na ule mtoi, maybe kuna part yake ya life hangejua kusoma, hangejua independence, unaona? Cause as a single mom unamhold close sana, but the moment Mungu aliniambia niachie, saa hii my parents Kenya wamemfanyia, azi ningeendelea kusema hapana, Mungu lazima unipatie job, lazima unipatie nyumba yangu niweze kukaa na mtoi wangu. But by just surrendering, by just letting go, God handle this matter. Imagine I'm so peaceful, my son is so peaceful. The only thing he says, mama tutaonana wakati tunapigiana simu. And to me, the fact that both of us tuko na amani, it shows that God is in this. Sasa nikajiuliza, kama singeachilia, niambie Mungu just take over, handle this matter, mimi niendelee tu kusema, you see, ukiwa kwa depression unaonanga God si faithful. Me by then nilisit Mungu down nikamwambia God, nimekuserve lakini hujakuwa faithful. But imagine God was faithful. He had better plans. And looking back naona, I'm glad I let go. I'm glad I surrendered. I'm glad that niliachia Mungu, cause imagine when ukiachia Mungu, he comes in a bigger way, more than you expected. Cause nikiangalia lifestyle yenye my parents are giving my son, iko sawa, singe make juu, unaona hiyo anaenda to 9 years, vitu zenye ana request, vitu zenye anaitisha, shosho nataka hii, shosho and imagine my parents can, but for now sina. But Mungu amempatia nini? Si neighbors, si godparents, but a family. And the fact that, another thing niliona ni kwamba, the fact that my son and I experienced a father figure in his life through my dad, hiyo singe accomplish. So unaona kusarenda kuna kitu inakufanyia bigger than what you could have imagined. Juu nikikaa naye kuna tabia zingine kama mama hauwezi zitoa, lakini through my dad, the father figure in his life, kuna vitu ana accomplish ambazo singeweza. So naweza sema nini? Learn to surrender to God. Waacha kujiekea, atia Mungu, muulize, by the way unataka nini? Chukulia, si mimi ni wako, kila kitu niko nayo ni yako, chukua, fanya kenye unataka, and he does exceedingly abundantly above what you can imagine, pray or think of. Yeah.
Wow. And I don't know if there is a time that we've not surrendered, and then what was the consequences. I think she's already shared that she got into depression. I hope you're out of depression now.
Yes, I'm out of depression. I'm good. So you can see me smiling. I'm not just smiling at you and unaona. Deep down my heart, I'm smiling and I'm grateful.
Wow, that's amazing. I think for mimi kuna juzi tu siku I was failing in surrendering, and it got worse to a point of just getting tension headaches. They're really bad. Unasikia ni kama blood vessels zako kwa kichwa zitataka ku explode. They're so tight. So it can be to that level where you even get sick, blood pressure issues, ulcers. So it's crazy. I don't know if Eda, you'd like to, is there any time that you've not surrendered, and like what was the consequence? Maybe there's something you'd like to share with us.
Not really, like hiyo time nilipokuwa nikiumwa na mkono nilikuwa hata sometime na feel hata nikienda church nikikaa for long na feel tu, so nakatu kwa nyumba nasema hata siendi church. Hata nikienda church still sina hiyo nguvu ya kuenda church, but venye nilisurrender tu kwa Mungu nikasema tu acha tu hii pain nikupe tu juendo lini create. So sometimes inafika to a point where una give up to, yeah, but ukigive up kwa Mungu hawezi kukudisappoint. Yeah.
Okay, thank you our guests. So surrendering for me, it has meant letting go and just submitting to God's authority. I think we can see that from both of the stories from our guests, and I just want to give some 5-6 points on what surrender has meant for me. So surrender has meant for me letting go of all that I've known about myself, how things are done, and just believing in what God says about what God says in His Word. So for example, the definition of beauty, we see there's a lot going on what is beauty for a woman. You need assets of a particular size, some smooth skin, then what is life? You just get born, you go to school, get a job, get a car at a particular age, get married at a particular age to a particular person, get a house, then die. Is there more to that, you know? And that has meant a lot for me. Surrendering also has meant living a godly life. Hii nimekuwa tested sana na pride and honesty. Kwanza pride, nimekuwa nikianguka design nyingine hapo. And honesty as well. There is like every other second, every other minute there is a test on honesty. Even small things like what time you sign in at work. Maybe there's some, I'm in an organization where I deal with customers. Maybe kuna maembe zimechunwa ziko hapo kwa ofisi. I can just take one, no one will know. Hakuna records. Hakuna mtu atajua, nitachukua na nisilife, hakuna mtu atajua. You know, those small things. And then if we look at Ephesians chapter 5 verse 6, it talks about normalizing sin. Be careful of those who give excuses for sin. And it talks about the sins of greed, sexual immorality, impurity, coarse jokes, obscene stories, foolish talks. Do not be part of those who excuse sin. Do not normalize sin, because God's anger will fall on those who disobey God. So let's not normalize sin. Romans 12 verse 1 and 2, that we give our lives as a holy and living sacrifice, and then do not, in verse 2 it says we do not follow the customs of the world. And which are these customs of the world? We need to give ourselves to God so that He may transform how we think, and then that we'll be able to know God's will, which is good and pleasing. So which are these customs that we're used to seeing? For example, even in dating, like sex, kissing, caressing is normal. It's normal to take revenge. It's normal to show off. We actually praise it in like Facebook Pride. I've bought a new Range Rover. I want to flaunt it on social media. Believing in me, there's a lot of believe in yourself, but who am I am weak, I'll get tired, I don't even know what tomorrow looks like, you know. My knowledge is limited. And then things to do like with alcohol and drugs. Yes, we have freedom, but then is everything beneficial for us? Is everything good for us? Surrendering also has meant to go to God for my source of joy and peace and fulfillment. It's easy for me hata ni juzi tu nilikuwa too stressed and I'd easily run to my phone, go check out memes and laugh it off, you know, watch movies or sleep or just overwork until I'm so tired and I can't think, and then now sleep, you know. It's so easy to do that, but I've seen it's not working. Nimepata hizo my headaches. Saizi zinaendelea kuisha, by the way, all thanks to God. So I've learned that I need to let go things to God and get joy from him. He's our source of joy, he's our source of peace. Get that from him, not get that from myself. Surrendering also has meant accepting God's will even when it seems unfair or different from what I want. For example, I had plans of I want to get married at this age, I want to get married at this age, I want to get a car by this age, get my own house before marriage, and which was ijaenda hivyo. I am married and I don't have a car, my friend. Hey, but I've known it's not like punishment. I have learned a lot in those years by then ingekuwa na hizo vitu ingekuwa too waste. So I have learned so much, and then it has also meant letting go of my ego. It's hard letting go of my ego, that accepting that I am wrong. Sometimes I want to make what is right, what is right definition yetu ni what will work for me at that time, and then it keeps changing. So just accepting that I'm wrong, asking for forgiveness, being kind to those people who do not seem to deserve your kindness. That one has been hard for me. I don't know if our guest, you have anything to just add as we close the show?
I would just like to add people who are watching to learn to surrender to God. Ujue kwamba as you keep on holding, ukisema ati nitajisaidia, unajua kuna point inafikanga unasema hii naweza jisaidia, naweza sotiwa na watu wetu, naweza sotiwa na my friends, but you fail to remember there is a superpower who is God. Na unasahau kwamba ukimwachia anaweza kufanya zaidi ya venye mabeshto wako angefanya. So situlan tu kusarenda kwa Mungu, mwambie Mungu si uchukue tu ushukani and just have your way. Fanya tu kenye unaona ndio sawa.
Thank you. You have any parting shot in 30 seconds?
Okay, me I want to say like we don't have to give up. Hiyo ku give up si poa. Pengine ukigive up kwa God hiyo ndo ni sawa, lakini ukigive up in this life hautaweza, surely hautaweza. It's hard ku give up. Mimi hata siwezi fikiria. Sometimes una give up then unakumbuka there's God, so you have to surrender everything to him and he'll work in his miraculous way. All
right, thank you, our guest. For the believers, you can drop a comment on what surrender has meant for you. So tuache vitu kwa God, tuache kukimbilia what we know normally works this way. Tuache vitu kwa God, and hope to see you next Sunday. Have a lovely week.